Ovogodišnji forum inicijative Global Citizen, održan u mondenskom ljetovalištu Emirata Ras Al Khaimah, okupio je svjetski džet-set. Francuski fudbaler i bivši reprezentativac Florent Malouda jedan je od onih koji su privukli veliku pažnju prisutnih.
Could you predict for TVE who is going to take a World Cup?
I wish France. I'm worried, but France.
So France is your favorite?
Yeah.
For the first time, World Cup is taking place on winter. Do you think it could have influence on the results, considering it's the middle of the season?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. It's very unusual. You can see recently there are a lot of injuries. So I think it will affect the results, but the World Cup is still a World Cup, so it doesn't matter the circumstances. Everybody wants to lift the trophy, and I think the strong nations will be there at the end.
After retirement from your player career, you stayed in football. But could you tell us more about your ambitions in coaching?
Well, I mean, when you transition after the playing career, you have to prepare your opportunities. So my mindset is not to put any limits, and this is why I decided to explore and to start with management and to start with the UFA Masters in Sports Administration. And now I'm going through the process of passing my coaching badges. So I just want to be ready for whatever, and most importantly, enjoy everything I do. Football is what I love, what has opened many doors for me, and I want, if possible, transfer my experience. If I ever coach, transfer all this experience to the players.
During your play in Chelsea, you won everything you could, and you had many success in Lyon. By your opinion, what do you think the future of Champions League is, especially after making attempts on Super League?
Yeah, it's a big debate actually. Super League, I understand the idea behind the Super League, but I would say Champions League is a fair model, is a fair business model, because redistribute more revenues to the pyramid. But like everything else, I think Champions League needs to evolve because the fans evolve, and that's a big challenge. It's competition from other platforms, and I think football needs to stay relevant. So although it's popular, there's a lot of question about how it can be relevant and interesting in 5-10 years, and it would be a big challenge.
You played for France national team for many years. You played 2 World Cups, but then in 2017 you decided to play for your native country, French Guiana. Why?
Well, I would say first, if I put things back in context, I played for French Guiana before I played for France, actually, and I would say it was a big story, but really in France, people really didn't understand why, because French Guiana is part of France, like it's a French territory, so I have a French passport, and I went there because my father was part of the team, the manager was my friend, so they asked me to come and support those young players and to share my experience and my knowledge. So I would say I was born there, I made an international career, and the thing is, many other Caribbean players who played for France did it already, like Angloma, Piquion, so there were many examples, but for me it just wasn't possible. But most importantly, I really enjoyed this experience. Because it was a way also for me to finish my career and giving back to my native country.
That means that you will repeat the same if you could?
Yeah, sure. I discussed it even with CONCACAF. I think it was more like a political stuff more than really about sport. Because French Guiana was and still and will forever be French. And as I say, there was some emotional connection to this story. I grew up there until I was 15. I played all the young and grassroots teams with Guyana, and like I said, I played with French Guiana before I played for France. That didn't stop me from playing 2 World Cups and 2 Euros. And I also asked authorization to the French Federation. So, I mean, I'm just sorry for those young kids who really wanted me to carry on with the tournament. But it was a good story. We had a great time, and it will be a good story to tell my grandkids.
And last but not the least, do you think that football today has become more business than a game?
I think it has always been business, like for the elite. And for me, it's not a bad thing. The thing is more about the morals. I think football, like any other business, needs to evolve. But it's more about the morals. How do you maintain morals? How do you keep inspiring the young generation? How do you make sure they look up to role models and they don't see them as people just interested by the business? Because football is a sport that people love, people are very passionate about, not only the people who play who are part of the business, the fans. And I think the most important is to keep the fans happy, to keep them close to the love of this game. And of course, the business, the politics is the part that no one likes, but it's part of the game.
Thank you for your time. It was our pleasure.
You're welcome.
Predstavnik katarske kraljevske porodice Al Thani, šejk Muhamed Al Thani, istaknuti je mladi lider, uspješni preduzetnik, avanturista, planinar, fotograf I filantrop.
You're one of the rare people who reached the top of the world by climbing on Mount Everest. What was the difficult about it?
Well, mainly it was time away from your family, time away from your friends. You know, it took me 2 months to climb Mount Everest. Many people think it's very physical. It is very physical, but it's more mental than physical.
And what have you learned about it?
Oh wow, there's so many things. First of all, following your purpose, believing in yourself, never ever give up, persistence, appreciation, humility. There's so many gifts that the mountain gifted me through my journeys.
During the Global Citizen Forum, we talked a lot about future of the world. Could you share for TVE some of your predictions about, for example, following 100 years?
Yeah, it's really sad what's happening in the world, especially with global warming. And I see it firsthand with my mountaineering. I started climbing in 2008, and you can see every year that the glaciers are melting, and how the impact of global warming is affecting our planet. And you know, unless we act today, we're already too late. You know, so we have to really save our planet for our future generations.
And you were born in Qatar and spent your studies in United Arab Emirates. Could you tell us some of the biggest advantages of these two countries?
Yeah, actually I was born and raised in the United Arab Emirates. I'm from Qatar and the UAE. I lived in both. We've been very privileged to live in both countries because we're very new countries as well. There's lots of opportunities that we're in front of us. So we're really blessed to be, I was very blessed to be born in this country. And it's not about where we're born, but it's about how much we can give.
I assume that you are only a royal in the world who is also a motivational public speaker. Could you tell us how did you get up with that idea?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm the only, but it's not an idea. What I spread is I spread my message. I'm not a motivational speaker, but what I spread is I try to inspire people to reach their dreams by believing in themselves. And there's no dream too hard to reach. Like, I come from the desert and I climbed the highest mountain on earth with my 2 feet. So like, if I can do it, you know, anyone can. My message is very simple, regardless of what I was born into. It's a matter of humanity, and anyone who sets their mind into something can make it happen.
And as an entrepreneur also, what are the biggest difficulties you're facing with?
Yeah. Well, we live in a global world, right? Our forum is called Global Citizen, and today we're citizens of the world. And anything that impacts, like a small thing in the other side of the world, impacts us today, right? We just came out of of Corona, and you can see how it impacted the whole world. So, as a business owner, the challenges are the same for any business. You know, like we have to. The world is no longer the geographical country that we're in, but the whole world itself.
In next few days, the World Cup is starting in Qatar. Except Qatar, could you tell us who would be your second favorite?
Easy. I'm not sure if I can say that, but yeah, of course I support my country, Qatar. We're super excited to host the World Cup, and very excited to host the world in our country. After Qatar, I support Brazil.
And I heard now that you had been to Montenegro like for 2 times. What is like the specialist moment that you're remembering?
I visited twice. One of them is for the Global Citizen Forum. Montenegro is one of the most beautiful countries I've been to in the world, and I can't wait to visit again. Everything. I really enjoy the beach, the country, the people. It's really, really one of the most beautiful countries I've been to in my life.
So when are we expecting you again?
This summer for sure.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Caroline Schäufle, umjetnička direktorica Shoparda, pored dizajniranja kolekcija satova, posvećen je filantrop koji podržava fondacije širom svijeta. Samim tim, čest je gost Global Citizen Foruma.
Could you share for TVE the best moments during your career and the most stressful ones?
Well, maybe one of the most exciting one was the day when I really started to work at Chopin, and I was I didn't really know where to start. I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to go into design, but I was sent straight back to Germany for training in all departments like invoicing, after-sales service, accounting. But that was maybe one of the best, but also the most stressful moment of my life.
In the last 40 years, you have been collaborating with many celebrities. Who would you single out as a special to your heart?
There is a couple. For sure, Elton John. He's a very close friend, and I've been working hand in hand closely with him for his AIDS Foundation, and they've come a long way to basically eradicate AIDS in pretty soon, I think, with a vaccine, which would be a breakthrough. Julia Roberts, because she's the most beautiful smile on the planet, and there's many, many others. Jose Carreras, because we also work with his Leukemia Foundation. So Petra, Julianne Moore, Colin Firth. I mean, I've been blessed, and I'm very humbled because I met so many celebrities through Cannes or other places, but it all somehow started in Cannes 25 years ago, and I didn't know what I was going to do there, but we opened a boutique, and I said, we should open during the film festival because the celebrities will be there, and I wanted to do something not like arriving like a parasite on the side table. So I went to the organizers and I said, can I do an official evening with you? And that's how the whole story started.
Great. And everyone knows you as a successful businesswoman. What advice would you give to all female population who is admiring you, who wants to be independent and successful as you are?
First of all, you have to be passionate about what you do. Secondly, you have to be very persisting. You have to follow your dream, and don't take no for an answer. If somebody shuts the door on you, try another door, and maybe 10 doors will open. But the most important thing is you have to believe in what you do, no matter in which field you work, no matter what you want to do. It has to come from your heart, and of course then you have to have a little bit of talent and whatever. But I can only give the advice that choose a job that you think you're going to love for the lifetime, because there's 2 things you have to choose. One is maybe your husband or wife or boyfriend, and that's a big decision. And the other one is in which area you're going to exhale, and you should be exhaling. You should feel good to go to the office in the morning or wherever you go, because that's half of your day.
And when it's up to Chopin, what should we expect next?
There's a lot of things in the pipeline. I'm working on Cannes 2023. We are opening a new boutique now in New York next month. So we move from Madison to Fifth. I'm here. I'm very proud and honored to be part of spreading some, hopefully, messages, good messages, and I continue my path in also following the foundations.
Caroline, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Prisutni će pamtiti koncert dobitnice Grammy-a, američke pjevačice, tekstopisca, plesačice, producentkinje i glumice Ashanti.
So, Ashanti, during the Global Citizen Forum, we talked about the magic of chaos.
Once you said you can be sexy, sensual, feminist, pro-woman, and boss. What does it look like to be all in one and know that positive chaos, how much magic you get?
It feels amazing to embody all of that. I think it's so important to continue to motivate women and inspire women to do the same thing. You know, it's all about just empowerment and loving yourself and, you know, sharing love and positive energy with the world. And I think the second part of the question was the magic. It's definitely a magical feeling, you know, just being able to reach so many people and helping people, you know, with this amazing program and doing it in a global, big way, you know. So I think that is very, very important.
And between wonderful, scared, always in time, happy, and focused and energy, because there's some sense. Which one would you use to describe yourself in better?
Oh my gosh. So out of those song titles, I think I've kind of been all of them. The least would be Always on Time because I'm kind of always late. But I've been scared before, but it's important to get over being scared, you know, and be strong. I've been happy. I think, what else did you say? You said scared, happy?
Scared, happy, always in time, so you also wonderful, unfoolish, and energy.
Unfoolish, yes, I've learned to be unfoolish. And energy, I think, is always good to possess positive energy. And you have to protect your energy too, because some people don't have good energy.
And in the forum, we also talk about collective forgiveness. What is a princess of R&B like? Is there a space to forgive and forget, or not, when someone hurts you?
Let's see. It's always good to forgive. And you do it more for yourself than for the person that hurt you, you know, so that you don't harbor on that negative energy. But you never forget. And even when you forgive, that doesn't mean that you have to continue to have a relationship or have anything to do with that person. It just means in your heart you forgive it and you just move forward. Gotta move on.
Of course. And your grandfather James was strongly associated with Martin Luther King. And your mom wished for you to be a woman of power, strength, and influence. Considering that, what kind of advices you received during your childhood and at the very beginning of your career that you still remember?
Wow, I'm very impressed that you mentioned my grandfather. I love him so much, and I feel like he's watching over us right now. I've always been taught to be a leader and to be strong and to always follow your heart and your destiny. You know, coming into the business, people tend to like tear you down and, you know, try to break your spirit and try to tell you you're not good enough or it's not going to happen for you, you know? And I think that comes from people being jealous and envious. So I've always been really nurtured and really cared for. I come from an amazing family and they've always been supportive, you know? So I'm really grateful for that. So I think just being told that I can do it and be strong and it's okay if you get setbacks, it's about getting back up and moving forward, you know? So I think that's really important, especially nowadays, to continue to inspire people to just keep going and keep moving and follow your destiny.
So how do you fight with jealousy for other people?
You pray for them. You know, in some ways it's kind of a compliment, you know, because for someone to be mad at you because you're doing well, if you weren't doing well, they wouldn't be mad, you know? So I feel like, although it's an unfortunate thing and it's a negative thing to be envious, to be jealous, I feel like what you have to do is just pray for blessings, pray for protection, that energy doesn't infiltrate to you.
Američku reperku i glumicu Eve znamo kao prvu dobitnicu Grammy nagrade za najbolju rap saradnju 2002. godine za pjesmu Let Me Blow Your Mind sa američkom pjevačicom Gwen Stefani. Danas je majka u borbi za bolji svijet.
So you were present in many fields during your career and you still are. From music, movies, clothing line, talk shows. Which one describes you the most and which one presents actually real you?
Oh my God, all of them are me. I think also you know this as women. We wear many hats all the time. We have to be and do so many things. I think, you know, all of them are the real us. We split ourselves because we have to. Yeah, all of them. Yeah.
And when you were 22, you already had a house, a retirement plan, a portfolio of investments. People usually see just one side, that prettier side of celebrity's life.
Yeah.
But my question for you is, was it stressful in that time to have all that amount of fame, or it was easy for you?
I mean, yeah, it's stressful. You know, listen, when you're just starting out, you know nothing. And the thing I wish someone would have said to me, find someone who knows about finances, who can teach you, and also learn. Learn about your business. I messed up so many times, scary times, and I've been very lucky. But yeah, there's been some scary times. But thank goodness I finally learned, you know.
But you're human, that's fine.
Human, yes.
Yeah, and during Global Citizen Forum, we were talking about choices we make.
Yeah.
If you could go back in the past and maybe change just one thing, which one it would be?
Oh, that's a good question. If I could go, you know what, honestly, and this is no BS, nothing. Even my worst, hardest times, because without that, I wouldn't be who I am. Even, you know, I'm a new mom. I struggled to have a child. It took me many, many years. We tried for years. Even in those darkest times, I'm so appreciative of my little baby. So I would change nothing.
Machel Montano, poznat kao kralj Soče, sarađivao je i dijelio bine sa svjetskim muzičkim ikonama kao što su Ariana Grande, Pitbull, Drake, Rihanna, Shaggy, Sean Paul. Ove godine slavi 40 godina karijere.
So, during the first day of Global Citizen Forum, we talked a lot about body, mind and soul. What would be the most precious things you did so far for your body, mind and soul?
Oh, wow. The first thing I do is I become aware of my body. I become aware of its relationship to every living thing around, you know. So I do a lot of what we call bhakti sadhana, which is gratitude for every living plant, every animal, every beautiful thing on this creation, which is creation. I connect with it. This makes you go beyond this limit of a body, you know, because this body is limited by its boundaries. But once you start connecting with everything else, you can expand, you know, and go beyond the physical. So I do this practice for my body every day. For my mind, I try to do disidentification processes, you know, where everything that I identify with, I try to release that. And most importantly, you know, relax my mind, liberate my mind, not try to control it. I watch what it does, and when you watch your mind, you quiet your thoughts. And for my spirit, I have beautiful conversations with people that I meet because I think it is important, the relationships we form on this planet. This is what makes us global. We seek to understand before we seek to be understood. So we learn what people have as a challenge, and we try to, you know, be of service to them. And that way, you know, the souls connect. I believe connection is what Global Citizen is all about.
That's great. And everyone knows you as a huge humanitarian who gave enormous funds in whole Africa. Why primarily did you choose education and agriculture?
I mean, it's important, you know, we have so much challenges we face in the world today, but if we think about the most global issue, is us coming together to secure this planet, to secure our life on this planet, you know, to be life affirming. And we have so many challenges with climate, we have water scarcity, we are on the brink of food shortage. So for me, I give of myself to spread the message of saving soil, understanding that soil is life. You know, this is how we grow our food, this is how we store our water, but most importantly, the soil is the richest carbon sink when it's healthy. So we put life into the soil easily, and we can pull carbon out of the atmosphere. We can cool the planet. We can also feed our people. We can also, you know, help with the flooding. We can save water for the farmers. There's so much education about something that's right below our feet. So I'm part of the Save Soil movement that was started by Sadhguru, and I use my voice in all communities. We have degraded soils in Africa, in America, in Europe, in India. And if we can play our part as a global community to just enrich the soil, we can save this legacy for all the children to come for generations and generations.
That's amazing. And when it's up to Africa, everyone talks about the problems. What do you think your biggest advantage is by being born there?
Well, actually, I was born in Trinidad and Tobago, which is in the Caribbean. And it's so strange because, you know, our ancestors came from Africa. We came to the Caribbean, you know, we came to these islands and this paradise, and we blended there with people from India, people from Portuguese, people from, you know, Chinese people, all different races of people, but we live side by side on these tiny islands, and we learn to love each other's culture. So that heritage of togetherness, the traditions that we have, I'm very much into carnival, which is uplifting music, lifting people's spirits and letting them play, in the streets and dance in the streets and feel a level of freedom. This was a tradition that was brought from Africa, and we are African people in the Caribbean who have grown to have a culture that shares peace, shares love, and we want to take it back to the world. So it's full circle right now. We have something to offer, and that simply is our joy and our inspiration.
And what would be unforgettable for you so far?
On this weekend, Global Citizen, definitely the people, the way they danced, the way we did the same dances to different types of music. People's minds here are very open. People want to understand, and language is no barrier. I've met people from every country with every language. We speak music, we speak love, and we speak one connected purpose: to serve.
Među zvijezdama i ove godine našao se filantrop i trostruki dobitnik Grammy nagrade Wyclef Jean.
So, Wyclef, up in here, you're singing your life with your words. What five would you use to describe your world?
Okay, so, my life is the life of this small kid in the village that grew up with nothing, right? Nothing. But guess what? The power of imagination, right? That's what got us to where we had to get to. So every kid that's watching this, we didn't start off like this. So we like the non-chosen, the ones in the hut, the ones that they say is never going to be nobody. They said we're going to be child soldiers, you know what I'm saying? They said we never going to find an out. So I represent that out. So for me, like every kid that you see, when you see them kids on the posters, they be like, yo, refugees, that's us. You feel me? Fugees. So the thing is, I represent hope, because it's like when I was saying earlier, I never wanted to be famous. I like making people famous, right? Because my passion ever since a child has always been talent. I love music, and I think musicians are very magical, you know what I mean? So for me, musicians and footballers are very magical, the things that they do. So I love that.
Great. And what is your advice for telling and living our own stories through our hands and not to allow others to strum our pain through their fingers?
Well, it's important for you to make sure that you tell your own story. Don't let nobody tell your story for you, because the only way you could inspire a generation is for them to hear your story. I always say this: if y'all don't hear it from my mouth, don't believe it. Like anything you see on the internet, if I don't say it from my mouth, don't believe it. Because you have to tell your story, I got to tell my story, and everyone over there has to tell their story, and that's how we're going to inspire the nations,
And what is killing you softly?
Oh man, killing me softly with this stuff. Well, you know what's actually killing me softly right now? The craziness around the world, you know what I'm saying? I think that when we look at the situation in the world, we need more loves in our heart. We got to give more love. We need to focus our energy and our frequency towards more positive things. You know what I'm saying to you? I feel like the world right now is so clickbait on negativity and fighting each other so much that we forget the one common goal is the children. You know what I'm saying? TVE, Wyclef Jean, I'm that refugee. I never really knew that she could dance like this. She make a man wanna speak Spanish. Como se llama? Si, bonita, si. Shakira, Shakira. Oh, baby, when you talk like that. You gotta start moving your hips now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.